What's good, everybody? So, welcome back. We are back. We're going to be talking about Superman, the movie review. Full spoilers ahead. How you doing,
Uh,
Digital?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad, man. Just a little hot. So let's
Yep.
get into it, man. We saw it last week. I saw it again on Sunday. The movie, in my opinion, gets better. The more you watch, the more you see it again. It's a full-on Superman movie. It really is. There's really no controversial. There's no mixed react. I mean, there's still some mixed reactions, but as a fan, I think if you wanted a full-on Superman movie, that Superman just does Superman things, and he's more humanizing. He makes mistakes. He gets beat up. It's a movie that has a good story that you really care about the character, and it's a full-on Superman movie. That's the best way I can describe this movie. Digital, what are your quick thoughts on it?
Yeah. Honestly, I think it does have, had a lot of potential, and it was a great Superman movie, to be perfectly honest. I see why some people are being, skeptical about it, where, some folks don't like it, and I can understand that because they did change, the story with Superman's parents, and, that
Yeah,
kind
we'll get into that stuff
yeah,
too. I'm just about your quick thoughts on. We'll get into like breaking down the story.
yeah, of course. I did like the
Um,
beginning of it too, of like how it was like, how they like showed it and everything like that. With of course with Superman, beating up the bad guy. And of course, like, Superman does like, kind of get defeated and everything like that. I see what they were trying to do. What they're
yeah, I
honestly
mean,
trying to do with this film is kind of, they're making it like a little bit like Invincible. I can't lie about that.
well, this inspiration from a lot of different places. In the comic books, James Gunn's taken a lot of stuff from the comic books. He's used inspiration from all sorts of different Superman comic book storylines and
Yeah.
the 87-year history of Superman. So there's a little bit of stuff like with Kingdom Come, with the superheroes being a little more reckless and careless, not valuing human life. They're heroes, but they just don't really care about human life or life in general the way Superman does. We've seen some moments of that. I mean, the opening of the movie, there's like a big, like not a crawl, but like a message thing of letting you know that kind of giving you the rules. Like metahumans have been around for 300 years.
Yeah.
Superman's been around for 3 years, and he just lost his first fight against the Bulgaria, this Bulgaria villain, which we learned was Ultraman in disguise. Uh,
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah. So right away, like the movie's very different. It's not like a slow build up to introduce you who's who,
No,
what's the
it's not an origin
challenges,
story or
what's
nothing
this.
like that.
No, this jumps right into the middle of an action scene, and you
Yep.
just for the first act, I feel like the first time I saw it, you felt like you were playing catch up to what was going on in the movie. Where you weren't really used to having a movie just kind of like you have to play catch up. Where previous movies or superhero movies, you kind of have a slow like build up. Here's Mom and Pa, here's Krypton, or here's this. This was kind of
Right.
like smacked right in the action. Superman's hurt. Kryptos takes him back to the Fortress of Solitude. He gets healed up, and then he goes back to action. Um,
A lot
but
of the
right,
action
yeah,
scenes I did find like really entertaining, and they did a really good job pulling that off.
yeah, absolutely. I think that was one thing I liked. The action was really good. The movie was very colorful. It was a full on um, DCU movie or Superman DCU movie. It felt like what Gunn's intention was to make this feel like you're walking into a movie where you're watching a comic book come to life, where some of the
Yeah.
stuff felt like a panels because I think the way it was edited was like a panels, like this scene and here. Then he's now running in the next morning. He's running to work because he's late. That's Clark Kent, and then hearing more about what happened the previous day, and with Superman losing his first fight, getting his ass kicked. So the way James Gunn does is a little bit different because the editing is going to be questionable in this movie. I think that's the biggest negative I've had with this movie. Was just a negative was the editing.
That's
Um,
understandable.
but the second time, it didn't bother me so much because I kind of know what I was expecting. But I really liked it a lot more than the first time.
Right.
You know. Um, do you have anything else you want to add to it?
Yeah, I actually like the fact of the music. I could tell he's definitely a fan of Christopher Reeve's Superman because you can honestly hear that the music and everything like that, where it honestly sounded like it. You know?
Yeah, I thought the score was really good. They obviously want to use part of the John Williams score to make it familiar for
Yes.
fans, which they should because that's a big theme song for Superman. And if you're going to do a Superman movie, you're going to have to find a way to incorporate the John Williams score. I mean, they did a retro version of it, so I appreciate them doing that. You
Which I
know,
enjoyed. Yeah, same.
Yeah, I give a lot of credit to John Murphy and David Fleming who did the score. I don't know how much they both did together, but they both did a phenomenal job with the score. The score enhanced a lot of the scenes, especially the big moments with Superman. Talk about how he sees himself as a human being making mistakes just like everybody else, and that he's not just some super god like character. He's
No,
really
he actually cares for the human beings and everything and wants to protect them.
well. He
Yeah.
cares for life. I don't think it's just being human. I think he cares
No, it's
for
just
life. I
everyone.
mean, the guy saved a squirrel. He tried to save the giant Kaizu before the Justice Gang thought it was a good idea to kill it.
Well, yeah,
But
he
he was
cares.
really trying to, yeah,
He cares about everybody. To be perfectly honest, that's the difference between this Superman. Like he honestly wants to be there to protect everyone.
yeah. And I don't
Yes.
want to say because 'cause I really like Man of Steel too. I think that's still a good movie. It's just a
Right.
very different take on Superman. Like this one's a very different take on Superman, and just like the Christopher Reeve movie was a different take on
That's the
Superman.
difference. There's all
You
different
know?
reincarnations of Superman. You know, like if you have see the comic books or whatever, read the comics and everything like that. There's all different kinds of reincarnations in there. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a fact. The other thing I liked about this was the cast. The cast was really good. Rachel Brosnahan was great. Nicholas
Yeah,
Hoult was great. Um,
I
a
thought
lot
the
of
person
supporting
that
cast.
played Lex Luthor was really good.
Yeah, Nicholas Hoult. I mean, Nicholas Hoult. Excuse me. He was phenomenal in this movie. I don't think this movie does really well critically without his performance as the main villain because this movie you really needed a big main villain to really carry this movie and Nicholas Hoult as Lex. I think he did a phenomenal job carrying the entire movie because the whole movie is centered around his character, his story. He's the puppeteer behind this whole movie. He's the one that's from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie. He's been trying to kill Superman because how much he hates him out of envy and just like jealousy, because here's somebody who's taken all of his attention away from him because he's a genius and he deserves to be worshipped. And here's a Superman character where he's like, this guy's being worshipped, like I should be worshipped. So there's a whole thing that I really like that James Gunn kind of fleshed out,
Right.
but it wasn't fully fleshed out. But you got the idea by the end that Lex's full motive was to kill Superman because he was trying to
Well,
show the audience like
yeah.
you love this guy. Look how much I've kicked his ass throughout the entire movie. This guy's not your hero. He's your superhero. Like just I think there's a lot of messages that Lex is trying to present to the general audience.
Yeah, you could tell
throughout
what
the
he's
movie.
actually trying to do to like ruin Superman's like reputation and everything.
Ruin it and then hurt him physically. I mean, the guy was took his dog, locked him up in a cube, had Metamorpho make up kryptonite, shot his friend, which was I think a dark moment. And I like that we saw Lex kill somebody, because we want to see Lex kill people. He's an
Lex,
evil character,
Lex Luthor is an evil character, and it's like, but I think they honestly made him even like more evil in this of how they portrayed his character.
Yeah, I got a bit of a combination of what's his name? I think Jason Shea from Lois and Clark New Adventures. He played Lex, and Gene Hackman. Those were the two Lex Luthor versions that I thought of with Nicholas Hoult that were the two that he used for his version. Overall, it is his own variation of Lex Luthor, and I still like what we got with Nicholas Hoult. I mean, he's Lex Luthor. He might be the best one that we've seen recently in the movies. I mean, Kevin Spacey, I thought did a solid job as Lex in the Superman Returns. Gene Hackman did a phenomenal job. Jesse Eisenberg, he had some flashes of pretty good Lex Luthor, but the story itself was just so it just didn't really help his character.
I can understand that and everything like
Yeah,
that.
because the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League, when they kind of tease you Lex Luthor being bald and trying to form a justice society, not just a justice, the Injustice League or whatever he was going to do, it felt like you were getting a glimpse of what his Lex Luthor was going to be. So, again, like that's completely different with what Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan and those people were trying to do at the time. But I really like what they were doing with this. I also thought the supporting cast was good. I thought Skylar Gisondo, who played Jimmy Olsen, I thought he was phenomenal.
Yeah, I thought
he
he
was the
did a
best.
great job.
He was really good in this. Adi Gathegi, who played Mr. Terrific, I thought he was really good too. Those were the two great standouts in the supporting roles. They really were stealing some scenes in this movie.
Yeah, Mr. Terrific was really stealing like the scenes. I'm not even going to lie about it. He did a fantastic job, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, Anthony Carrigan as Rex Mason, Metamorpho, I thought he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. I think most people who saw this movie didn't know much about Guy Gardner became Guy Gardner fans after this movie. I mean, my wife, who saw it with me, she was just laughing at the whole middle finger to the military, and she thought that was really fun. That was one of her favorite moments.
That's hilarious.
I
Yeah.
think the only one that was kind of weak, but just I want to say weak, but just wasn't strong enough or didn't have much to do was Isabella Mercedes Hawkgirl.
Mhm.
I thought she was okay. You know, they had a close-up shot where she was ready to kill the president of Bavaria.
They could have added more to her
Yeah.
character, which I wish they did, and that was like kind of disappointing that they didn't.
Yeah, but they were really these were just set piece. These were just cornerstones to build the DCU.
True.
I kind of wish for her mask or the Hawk mask. I wish they kind of painted black, like some of the black makeup over her eyes, so it kind of blends in with the mask. It was
Yeah.
just kind of weird seeing because it looked like a fan made mask, then having like the black eyes over the mask, kind of like how we saw with a lot of Batman, where they always had like the black makeup over the over the mask.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can understand
I
that.
think that would have been cool if they did that with Hawkgirl because it just felt like she was just wearing a fan made mask. Again, they can always change that in the next movies or whatever they do next. I know this won't be the last time we see Hawkgirl.
I'm honestly hoping for the sequel we get Brainiac.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. We'll probably get Brainiac. I can see Brainiac being the next one.
Hope so.
Yeah, it'd be great. Brainiac will be another one I would like to see. I think we can get into like future sequels as well. I think right now the DCU seems to be in a good place at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, that's really a good start. I think what else? So I just got a little distracted. We can get into the some of the changes they made too. I know you mentioned the Krypton situation where they changed everything.
They did.
You know, where they kind of tweaked his parents and things like that.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like that. I did not like that at all.
Yeah, I think that they I think that they were trying to like add a story point for the next movie.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I thought too. I'm just saying it could be fake. And like that, you know how Lex Luthor likes to incriminate messages and everything. The dude's a straight up liar.
Yeah. No, I agree. You know, I agree on that one.
Yeah.
I really do agree on that one. Sorry, I just got distracted. That's all, man.
It's fine.
Yeah. Say that again. Sorry, I got really distracted.
Oh, I basically said, quote unquote, is that like, it could be like the that footage was like not real. You know how Lex Luthor can lie about that just to dock with that stuff and everything like that to make it up or to just make a brand new footage and everything like that. Dude has the money and the dude is filthy rich.
Yeah, I agree on that one. I mean, he could have done that. I mean, we've seen stories where they try to say that Jarrell said this, but then they were wrong in the beginning. Later on, the next movie or a show, that was one thing they could do. But they could go anywhere. I mean, in the comic books, they've really played around with that in the comic books. I think in My Adventures, My Adventures with Superman, the new anime show, they played around with that in season 2 with Krypton and Lex, not Lex, with Krypton and Jarrell. So that was very interesting.
It was.
I thought that was so I liked the idea they were playing with that. I liked that they were it definitely got a lot of people talking about that scene. I know some people from work and just in general.
Yeah.
They were like mixed about it, but I get what they were trying to do, building a story point.
Oh, it's understandable.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. Sorry, I'm just a little bit distracted.
You like the kaiju fight? I enjoyed that too.
Oh, the kaiju fight was pretty cool. I thought that was a really good moment. I like the kaiju fight. I like the crypto stuff. The crypto stuff was really good too.
I thought the crypto stuff was really fun and enjoyable. It was funny, like why you find out like how he's not like listening to Clark or AKA Superman. You find out it's insane, but yeah, it makes sense. We'll get to it in a little while.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it was a good scene. I like that you saw Superman trying to save the Kaiser, trying to solve the problem. It was distracting Superman from them going into the Fortress of Solitude to really retrieve the stuff, really retrieve the video and to learn more about Clark, more about Superman.
It's crazy. Like Lex went in there, like I get it because like, Clark's not starting off as Superman. We already know that. So this is not an origin story. So it's like he had this probably planned for years or something like that. And to see him go into the Fortress of Solitude,
because they had said he's been training not
Yeah.
training, but he's been studying Superman for the last couple of years.
Yes.
That's why he created, that clone that we learned later on, and the A1, the F1, that type of thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was one thing I was like, all right, cool. Like I like that we kind of like saw Lex's strategic points, but like he still had a few things that he still didn't know Superman fully. He really didn't know what Superman really was when he was in a back push to the corner. You know? Trying to think.
No, absolutely. And the
I
thing
thought,
is,
yeah. Good.
No, I was gonna say, like, even with the fight scenes and everything, they were very well done. And honestly, I love the way Superman flies. I don't have a problem with that at all. I think they pulled it off.
Yeah, I thought they did a pretty solid job. I mean, the only criticism I had about it was the angles, because there's certain angles they use, which I'm like, you didn't really have to do a whole lot of close-ups, but they felt the need to show that was the actor. Which again, I get the point. You wanted to believe a man could fly, which is great. The other thing I think I could say is the CGI was pretty for itself. The special effects I thought was really good. I give that a lot of props too. I mean, there's some tweaks here and there, but like overall, it was pretty solid. You can tell they put a lot of work to make it a very colorful and beautiful picture. They did a phenomenal job making this movie on a big scale.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else we can to add. I like I said, I mentioned Jimmy Olsen. I really like some of the scenes that they had with Jimmy Olsen. I mean, he was a big key in the plot with Eve Tessmaker, which I thought she was also really good in this too.
Yeah, agreed.
I thought that was some of the stuff they did with her. That was really funny. I thought the actress who played it was really good in this too. I thought she had some funny, awkward moments, but it was meant to be that way.
Yeah, it's understandable.
I thought that was really good. I thought the crypto stuff with Superman, I thought that was really good as well. I thought the crypto fight with the Raptors really good. That was another good action scene.
Yeah, Crypto. I'm not even gonna lie. Crypto has a lot of good scenes in this movie.
Yeah, he's still. He was for the general audience, which I think worked really well. A lot of audiences which we saw in the theaters, they were really good at laughing and really like some of the stuff, the bad dog stuff, which we can all relate if you have a pet or a dog or an animal.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool too. Some of my favorite moments with the dog, I think, was at the end with Lex Luthor and how he kind of grabbed Lex Luthor with looks to try to make a big speech.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it was described as like a Avengers Hulk moment, Hulk smash kind of moment, which makes sense. But I enjoy that moment. It's a good scene.
That was funny. That was funny what Crypto did to Lex Luthor. I was laughing.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to go back to Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. I thought she did a phenomenal job. She was really witty. She was really funny. I like some of the stuff she did with Mr. Terrific. That was phenomenal. I wasn't really crazy with the roll-up door slow motion. I mean, I know that's a James Gunn thing.
Mhm.
But some audience cracked up and laughed over it. I thought it was pretty okay. I thought the Mr. Terrific has some really good one-liners, some really good sarcasm moments. I like the part where the guy's like, "Can you stop this?" with the big split. Can you stop it? I'm Mr. Terrific. I thought that was a pretty good scene. You definitely see that they're setting up some potential spinoffs with some of these characters. I know some people talk about having Jimmy Olsen TV show. Maybe they do a Mr. Terrific show or something. I mean, I know Peacemaker's the next month.
Yeah, and absolutely. Yeah. We also saw too is they showed Peacemaker for the cameo and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I should have saw that coming too. I thought that was pretty funny. I know some fans ate that up when they saw him, and it kind of makes sense. And they tie into like on the show. I'm in the first season. They're talking about how Superman has this shit fetish or something. We now know that was Lex Luthor kind of developed bots with monkeys and having this whole hashtag super shit, which really bothers Clark or Superman. That was kind of a funny moment. I really like that Gunn kind of took a shot of his own critics by calling them, these robotic monkeys and shit like that. And now they just kind of make up stuff online just to get clicks and all that other stuff. So it was a quick 20-second thing, but it was pretty funny. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm glad they didn't make the whole Pocket universe.
Yeah, I can understand that and everything like that. They showed like a bunch of what Lex had and everything like that in that universe, but it didn't show too much, which is good. So we'll see for the sequel.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, what are your thoughts on the? I'm trying to think what other fights that happened. In this movie, I'd also like some of the scenes with where they self acknowledge some things where like Lois is talking to Guy Gardner trying to get them to help Clark, or but they
Yeah,
already know that he's
that
Superman,
was
and
a
he's
funny
like,
scene. I was waiting for that.
yeah,
And the funny thing, what I liked about it too, was like, oh, please make fun of the haircut. When she did, I started laughing.
yeah. This movie, I thought that's one thing I like where they were really self intelligent about certain things, like the bowl haircut.
Yeah,
Clark telling everybody he's Superman because he's like that trusting of people. I thought that was very interesting. They really did a phenomenal job just being a little bit more self-acknowledged about some stuff too. You know,
yeah.
um, is there anything you didn't like about the movie?
But like I said, it's just that well, two things I would say. Like, I understand why they were making like Superman like weak, and they got to tell a story and everything like that. But the changing the origin story, yeah, I didn't like that, and I get what they were trying to do because they want a fresh idea and everything like that, and I understand what their intent was into doing that, but I just kind of think like it was the wrong decision, you know?
Yeah, I can see that. I guess. I also want to say I think the actor they had to play the president of Bavaria, I thought he like, overacted a little bit.
Yeah,
You know, that's the part where I think people said that it felt like a cartoon, where like his character felt very cartoonish.
it
Um,
did.
I didn't mind that Hawk Girl killed him off. I thought, okay. I
I mean,
really didn't mind that at all.
she wasn't going to let him live.
Yeah. The other thing I didn't mind was the just some of the heroes killing characters. Like they really said it to them that these superheroes are not all like Superman. So I was fine with that. Um, because Mr. Terrific said it to him by killing the giant Kaiju, Hawkgirl killing the president,
Yeah,
Guy Gardner just not really. He just didn't care if he hurt anybody, or the people of the army. I'm trying to think of what else. What else we haven't touched up? I thought the mom pod camp was pretty good. I didn't think they were that bad. I thought they were. I think the
I
mom
thought they were
camp
very well
overacted.
decent.
Huh?
I thought they were very well decent to play, Clark's mom and pa, like to play those characters. They did a pretty good job, you know.
Yeah, I thought they did a good, okay job. I felt like the Ma can kind of over Martha can overacted a little bit,
Right.
just to be funny, which I get what they were trying to go, and I had no issue with it. I just didn't really buy into the fact that these two raised Clark Kent. That was my only thought. I'm like, yeah,
I can understand that.
but like, and that might be because I'm used to like, the other actors who played Jonathan Kent in the Smallville show and Man of Steel.
Yeah,
You
same.
know,
I'm
uh,
not gonna disagree with that because we were like, with those characters and like really attached to them. Like to me,
yeah, but
that's
they seem to like you can believe that they raised Clark Kent, where this
true.
was like again we're in the middle of like this is a Superman already sort of established. His parents are still there. He goes to guidance, and I like that because the moments when they called Clark to check on him, that felt like an episode of Lois and Clark from the '90s TV show, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I
there's a
honestly
lot of
remember
a
that
lot of
too.
homages to Lois and Clark, a lot of homages to Superman the animated series. I was kind
You can tell James Gunn is a real fan of Superman. Like he's giving, what we honestly wanted and everything like that, and he's giving it to the fans, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he knows comic book movies. He knows comic
Yeah.
book characters. He knows how to find them source material. That's why he's had a successful run with comic book movies with the Guardians and now Superman, and the Suicide Squad. That's still a good movie. It's not a bad movie in my opinion.
Oh,
Um,
the one by James Gunn is good. The first
yeah,
is trash.
first one I thought was okay. I think the actors really took a bad script and made it something. The
Yeah.
movie made like I think what like 800, close to 800 million or 800 something million. It did really well because it came right after BVS, and that movie did pretty good, even though BVS wasn't perceived very well.
Well, I
But
mean, the
the
director's cut
fans
is
were,
better than the
yeah,
original one.
yeah. I mean, I know, but like, um, but overall, Gunn knows how to tell comic book movies. He understands these characters. He does do a lot of research. I mean, look what he's doing with Peacemaker. He did it. He's
True.
doing season 2 of Peacemaker. He's also working on the Green Lantern show, which comes out next year. We got Clayface movie. The other thing we didn't mention was the ending credits with Supergirl,
Yeah, and
Millie Elcock.
and guess who? Crypto belongs to Supergirl. That makes sense. Why it didn't follow Clark Kent, aka Superman's directions or anything like that because the dog belongs to, Clark's cousin.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I agree on that one. Um, we know her movie comes out next year, so we'll get more Crypto again next year. I know that's gonna be the next DCU
We
movie
gotta
from
we gotta
James
mention
Gunn's.
we gotta mention it because it's like the part where she comes back all drunk from the fortress.
I guess it looked like she just came out of her hangover and she's
It was
just now
funny.
back to get her dog.
Yeah, and the dog was
Um,
like slamming her to the ground, and she enjoyed that.
yeah, that's just her relationship with her dog. I mean, again, we were seeing from Clark's perspective of what she's been doing. That's
Yep.
probably what he thinks she's doing. We don't really like. He doesn't really know what his cousin's doing. I mean, she's doing her own thing. Which we'll see more of in the next movie. And I'm sure the Kryptonian thing with Jor-El, I'm sure that's going to be mentioned in Supergirl in some way. We'll probably know more about the Kryptonians through her
Yeah.
perspective. My guess, she's been around for the last like maybe 4 to 6 months, and she's still trying to adapt the fact that her planet's gone, her parents are gone. All she's left with a cousin that she thought was still a baby now has grown up, and she just has her dog. You know,
Makes sense.
that's gonna be exciting to see where they go with Supergirl. Trying to think if I want what else would I love to see more of in this. I would have loved to see more of the supporting cast. I would have liked to see more Perry White. Some of the small glimpses we had of him, I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
I just wish we got a little more of him. Maybe we get more of him in a Jimmy Olsen spinoff because I can see them really doing a Jimmy Olsen spinoff where you'll have Kat, you'll have Perry, you'll have Steve Lambert, and maybe another supporting character, or whatever they do. If they do a Jimmy Olsen show, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah. What you think of the suit for Superman? I thought it was just okay. I'm not a big fan of the new 52 Superman suit.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, it was okay and everything like that. I didn't have a problem with it,
Yeah, neither did I. I didn't have an issue with it, but again, I'm not used to it for them or James Gunn wanted to use the Kingdom Come symbol,
Right.
because I felt like that might confuse international audiences where they're used to seeing the Superman symbol, where it's a little bit too different for them. Again, like we'll see what happens with the second movie. I can see Clark adapting the S, the S that we're all familiar with in the next movie to show that he's for Earth, instead of
True.
using the
I mean,
Kryptonian
remember
S symbol.
the original title was supposed to be called Superman Legacy, but
Yeah.
then they decided to change it and go with Superman.
Yeah, I can see Gunn probably really changing a lot of things after he shot the movie where he wanted to change it to be more Superman and not about the legacy, maybe, or Krypton's legacy. There's could be more about it. Who knows? I'm sure we'll get more in the future of DCU. Maybe we'll get something in Supergirl, like I said already. As for Cornswood, I thought he did a phenomenal job. I thought he really captured the heart of Superman, and we didn't really get a familiarity with his Clark Kent too much. We got a chance to see Clark Kent the person, not the Clark Kent the personnel that everybody sees. We saw maybe like a 5-10 minute clip of him as Clark Kent in the Daily Planet coming back after the fight with the Bavaria Ultraman character.
Yeah.
I would have loved if once we got the reveal that Ultraman was a clone. I really wish we started seeing him kind of take more form of Bizarro, but they didn't really go there. They just kind of like Superman just kind of pushed him into the black hole, which I think you could say the Parker universe. That whole scene I thought was pretty good. Like I said, the stuff with Lex and A1, F2, B3, that kind of thing. I mean, it is a bit of a video game-ish, but it makes sense for Lex Luthor because he had to control the clone to really beat Superman.
Right.
But I know, yeah.
Did you like that part where he actually did like, C3 to CB, and I'm just like,
I thought it was pretty funny because you have the geeks who were with him from that work on the AI were all freaking out when they were losing control of the clone because Crypto kept eating up their cameras so they couldn't see anything.
Yeah, that was funny. Where he's like,
I thought that really worked.
Yeah.
So what do you give this as a score?
9 out of 10.
Nice. 9 out of 10. Sweet. And mine also is a 9 out of 10. So I definitely say check this out in IMAX. Check this out on the biggest screen while it's out there. If you're a Superman fan, comic book fan, or you're looking for a good action movie, this is a good action movie to check out.
Yeah.
It has everything in one. I kind of describe this as like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man's a little bit because it had a bit of a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man feel.
Yeah, I agree with
You
that.
know, what else? So yeah, let's talk about the future of the DCU. Now that we know, now that it's off to a good start. Wait, how much you move? First off, how much you think this movie's going to make? Because right now it seems like it's at 230 at the moment. Since we're still talking about it on a
Do you think
Tuesday,
it's gonna make more than possibly maybe when the Fantastic Four comes out, or no?
I don't know. I mean, right now it seems like the international numbers weren't that great.
Mm.
You're always hoping the international numbers are bigger than the numbers.
Did they make enough
So
money
I
to
really
at
don't
least
know.
make a sequel?
Hmm?
Did they make enough money to at least make a sequel?
Yeah, I think they are going to make a sequel. The movie's getting rave reviews, critical acclaim, and all that stuff. They're definitely making a sequel. I mean, you have
Okay.
David Zaslav making a comment how they just made a big dub, how they just won the box office and won the critics. So, I mean, they're all shaking their ass and telling you how great they are right now. So that's kind of what Zaslav is doing right now with Warner Brothers. I mean, they've had a great year. When you talk about Warner Brothers, I think they've had about 5 big hit movies: Sinners, Superman, Minecraft. Final Destination Bloodlines, another one, and I think they were also part of the F1 distribution. So they got something. So they got 5 successful movies this year, and we're only in July. You know.
Yeah, agreed.
So I'm all. So I mean, if they want to shake their ass and tell everybody how great they are after one weekend at the box office, cool. That's great. I'm very curious to see what the box office is going to look like for this week 2. I'm really hoping they don't have a 50% drop off. I'm really hoping they get no more than maybe like a 35% drop off because there's more people who want to see this movie a second time. So I'm happy about that. But I'm really hoping this movie makes at least 650, 700 if it's lucky. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
if it'll make 700 because Man of Steel, when it came out its opening weekend, that movie made like a little over 300 million. This movie only made like 217. So we'll see what happens long term. I mean, the frustrating part is you have another big movie in Fantastic Four coming out. I'm sure that's going to do really well too.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that, I think the next movie after Fantastic Four will be Weapons. I think
that I want to see.
Yeah, that's a horror movie that comes in August. Together, I think comes out the end of July, but I think that's quietly getting a quiet release and then a wider release in August. I'm surprised we didn't get the Mortal Kombat 2 trailer for Superman.
They're going to be showing that, I believe, at San Diego Comic-Con. That's what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, but I feel like they should have showed it during the Superman movie. I think because it's a Warner Brothers, it's a Warner Brothers property.
True, I do agree with that. So,
yeah. Yeah, let's get back to the future of DCU. We know the next thing will be Peacemaker season 2 that comes out next month. Then it's Supergirl. Then it's Green Lantern. And then we got Clayface, and then we got the Batman in 2027. So
it's taking this
I'm
long.
sure. Yeah. So, what do you think the future holds for the DCU now that we're in this new era of DCU movies?
I think they're off to a good start, and let's continue to keep making these movies entertaining and fantastic and good character development and a really good storytelling, and you'll be all right.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I think that's where they are right now. Is just trying to tell good storytelling, good character development. I think that's what they're trying to do right now. We'll see what they do next. I'm kind of mixed. I like that they're doing Supergirl, but I kind of wish they were doing another big name character for their next movie. And I think that's where they're changing a lot of things up because originally they was going to have like Sergeant Rock movie, which got canceled. The Authority movie got canceled. I think Zaslav is probably talking to James and Safran and are like, look, we got to use our big A characters. Like, what are you doing with Wonder Woman? What are you doing with the Flash? What are you doing with Aquaman? These are our 3 big hitters. Let's start off with some big hitters and then worry about the smaller movies in the future. But again, I can see Gunn trying to do the smaller movies first to really gain some profit money. Because if they do these big blockbuster tentpole movies like a Superman, they're still fighting the DCEU taste. Because there are fans out there and there are audience who are like, oh, DC, whatever, because that's still the bad taste in their mouth because there's a lot of trust with Zack Snyder's DCEU and Nolan's DCEU after Man of Steel, and BVS and all that other stuff. You know, that really
I'm
got a
gonna
lot of
say
people
this right
excited.
now. Like, to honestly tell the truth, you know, I'll be real with it. Hoata Hamato is honestly to blame for this.
Well, it's a lot of people to blame. It's not
Yeah,
Walter
but
Amado. It's a lot
it's
of people
honestly
to
on him
blame.
too. Yeah. Not
There's a
just
lot
that.
of people to put, yeah, but there's a lot of people in Warner Bros. You had to blame. They
Yeah,
had brought in
I
so
get
many.
that, but I can't like, you know, blame Zack Snyder where it's like, think about it. He did make his like Justice League and everything like that. And you know, with all the stuff like happening to him and everything like that, I can understand like, you know, what he had to do to take some time off and everything, you know? So
Yeah, but I mean, when you look at the last 20 years with Warner Brothers, they've had so many different people take over, so many different visions,
true.
so many people walking on people. You know, and it's not just with DC stuff, but it's just in general.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like when you look at the history, there's a lot of people to blame with the DC direction.
Absolutely.
Thankfully, right now, Zaslav is letting James Gunn do his thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it stays that way. You know, because if this movie doesn't make 500-600 million, I can see Warner Brothers panicking and trying to get Gunn to do more with his DCU right away. I mean, they're already talking about doing a Batman Superman movie as a sequel instead of doing another Superman sequel.
Interesting.
You know,
Really?
there's been teases of that, so we don't really know what James Gunn has in store for Superman or for the DCU. I'm pretty sure that they're trying to figure out a way to really generate more money for the box office because that's what they really want right now.
Yeah.
You know, they want to get back into making $1 billion comic book movie.
Which is understandable.
You know, we'll see what happens with that. I just think right now the DCU right now is in a good spot. It's brighter. I'm excited for what they bring with Supergirl. I'm excited what they do with Clayface, Peacemaker, Green Lanterns,
Swamp Thing.
whatever. Swamp Thing. If they do a Swamp Thing, I know they're working on a Titans movie now, so I'm excited for that. Whatever they throw our way, I'm excited to see what they do next. I'm excited for the Batman 2. You know, we'll see what they do next. I think Gunn has an interesting vision. Hopefully he fleshes more of that out.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it has a lot of opportunity, and what he's going to be doing is like seems like a lot of great ideas. You know, so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, man. Do you have anything else you want to add? I feel like we kind of.
Oh yeah, I forgot one more thing. So you can pre-order the Superman movie on a Steelbook 4K special edition on Amazon right now. I already ordered my copy, so I suggest y'all get it as soon as possible because it might be selling out.
Yeah, possibly. But yeah, it's gonna do it for us. Let us know what you guys think of Superman, or whatever you thought of the movie, or what you think is gonna happen with DCU with James Gunn. Did you like the movie? Love the movie? Hate the movie? Let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you for those who are watching.
All right, y'all. Have a good one. Take care.
Peace. Later.